He's definitely about to eat that banana though, because he wasn't facing this way a second ago.
Hopefully you like bananas, right?
I mean, I don't know. That's a good banana.
Yeah, I was gonna say, ask your
What do you think, fish tank / turtle people? What's up, fish tank people? Dustin's Fish Tanks bringing it to you on a Sunday, baby. How's everybody doing? I hope you're doing well. This video is being brought to you from the future pool at the back of my house, because we're not using this basin. But in today's video, we're gonna bring it to you with no trivia. We're gonna talk about how we are dirting some basins out back. But first, I want to drop this quote on you because I like to get a little bit woo-woo with you. It's very simple. I saw this. It's great. You ready? If you don't sacrifice for what you want becomes the sacrifice. All right, so what we're gonna do today is we're gonna roll over here. We're gonna show you how these basins are rolling. Look, it's summertime and the living's easy. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna set up a whole bunch of basins outside, get a bunch of plants growing, and then when they're all growing, we're gonna have Greenhouse 3.0 built. Call it around October. We're gonna bring everything on inside all nice and grown. So we're having a good time with that. I'm gonna show you the dirt in the basins here in just a sec. Quickly want to show off one of my favorite trees. This is a bur oak. This thing is awesome, and I planted it last year. It's gonna get like ginormous, but it's one of those like hardcore huge. You can see the image here of how big these trees get. I think there's one in Lexington. It's actually as old as the country. You know, I got to think for big plants. Speaking of big plants, check this out. So today is a special day. Every day is a special day because it's a beautiful day on Earth. But this is the red stem thalia that I took from my pond, and this started out, Ryan showed me, it actually started out as one little stalk, and growing all through the winter, this bad boy became two, and now we got it out in full sun, full blast, baby. So I'm excited to see how this is. Actually gonna take a little bit of a measurement and date stamp this to see how big we can get that sucker before we bring it in for the winter. And we want to give a measure. I'm gonna call it 36 inches right now. As of June 24th, 36 inches, so 3 feet from the water line right now. You can see the clip here. This is one of my favorite bad boys, and it's full Kentucky sun all summer before we bring it back in. I'm excited about this. We've got some other fun plants going on here. My wife won't let me have them in the backyard, but Ryan will plant 12 of them, or 6 of them, or whatever. These are sunflowers that I'm super stoked about how they are growing along over here. I don't even know what these are. Whitney planted them yesterday. They look like they need a little bit of water, but they're doing good. And yeah, we are excited about the growth outside and in here at 2.0. I have to show the giant valve tank. Wasn't even CO2'd yet this morning. Did I mention I love my minivan? Look at this beautiful thing. Time to make some basins. So if I've said it once, I've said it 400 times. Plants absorb 400 to 400 times more nutrients through their roots than through their stems and leaves. I've also mentioned that light matters, and the sun shineth upon dusty right as I start talking about sunlight. Yes, so we are gonna grow some plants in these basins. Super excited about it. God made dirt, dirt don't hurt. We're dirting 3 of these basins. We've got a bunch of dirt ready for basins 4, maybe potentially basin 5. But what I want to show you today is how we have dirted these and some of the problems you might run into when you are dirting your aquarium. It's the exact same principles, exact same stuff. So I want to show some of the stuff that we have going on here. So what I want to do is I want to kick this pump on, and I want to show you how this is low. Now what happened is we have a couple of spots with this basin. You can see it's cloudy. When you dirt your tank, or when you dirt a basin as we're doing here, you're going to have to do the water changes. I'm recommending doing 7 water change, or excuse me, 5 to 7 do water changes until it's clear. When we did this, the dirt was actually not stepped down enough. I actually delegated and gave people proper instructions, but we didn't step down the dirt enough. We didn't mash down enough. So we have a couple of pockets where the dirt is coming up through in your aquarium. This will wreak havoc in your aquarium if you do not properly cap the dirt, okay? I always recommend 1 inch of gravel on top of 1 inch of dirt. If you're in doubt and you're nervous, do 2 inches of gravel on top of 1 inch of dirt. We recommend BB gun size BB gravel. They didn't have that in bulk and a discount. I do prefer a gravel over a pool filter sand. Both of them, 50-pound bag is 10 bucks. We actually have some gravel that we just picked up at Lowe's for 5 bucks for a 50-pound bag. But I'm gonna drain this down. I'm gonna show you some of the spots that we have that are a little soft and what it's all about. And while that's rolling, I always recommend when you do your dirt in your aquarium, you keep extra gravel on hand to do patches, repairs, touch-up work, and that's exactly what I'm doing here. This gravel size is awesome and a good color too. I actually would prefer it to be black because black hides the dirt a little bit better, but this stuff, we used about 7 bags in here. I want to do some quick math for you as well. This is about, if you ever want to figure out how many gallons you have in an aquarium or in a pond you're building, it's your cubic feet times 7.48. We did the math on this. It's 7.5 times 7.5 times 1, because it's just a foot tall, times 7.4. It's around 300 and some gallons. You can do the math on your own. All right, so as you can see that some of this has some dirt that's gotten on top of the gravel. That's fine. What I'm looking for here is I'm looking for pockets, and you can see here I've got this like little volcano. See all those bubbles coming up? That means that first of all we didn't push the dirt down enough, and then I've got a soft spot. So you want to be careful of the soft spot. So I've got a soft spot here, soft spot there. I'm actually going to kill that pump, and then all this is coming up is both CO2 and hydrogen sulfide, which is no bueno. So you want to be doing this without any sort of fish at all in the aquarium. Kill that. So this is all kind of soft in here. So I'm going to use the patching gravel here. But this is Val Cinerea torta. And the outer growth, a little bit of whatever. But then in here in the center, this is what we're looking for. So the plant is happy. Always look at the center of the plant, not the outer part, the closest part right here. That little thing is all you got to see to know that it's happy. But I'm going to go ahead and patch this up a little bit. So that's no good. It's a little volcanoes coming up. That'll wreak havoc. That would kill your fish, by the way, if you had a big one like that. So you definitely want to get all this figured out. Now in an aquarium, you can see everything as it's going down and quickly patch. And literally, like, don't be afraid to be generous with a big handful of gravel as you're patching it. And you can't smell it, but there's like a distinct, not quite manure smell, but like a ammonia kind of, when this stuff comes up, you can smell it. And if that's in your aquarium, you got problems and you need to get your fish out if they aren't already out, and you want to drain that water down and find the hole in the substrate. Now I'm filling this more quickly than you would in your own aquariums. You never want to disturb the cap, as I just showed. Set it in here. I'm going to shove the bag in like this, and you can poke holes in the bag. Seems to work pretty well. You could also use a plate. You could also use a plate works good. Wrapping it with a towel, like rubber band and a towel around here. But this way the water is dispersed, not in a big jet. So this will work right here. And I've added the chlorinator. This is the powder, ACCR from our friends at Fritz. Use a lot of it. Oh, there's a pocket. All right, so I want to show what we learned from this basin to this basin. This one I didn't step through and mash everything down. This one we did. So if you stick your finger in here, you can't really see it, but the dirt is only about that deep and the gravel's higher. But I walked the entire thing and I mashed down all the dirt before I put the layer on. So this basin, while we just got done planting the rest of it, this is actually leopard valve, and we just got done planting it but it will probably be a lot cleaner overall because I did the work up front and I mashed it down. So that was a mistake I made on the last one. But we're gonna clean both these up and show you in a minute. So lesson learned, we didn't spray out one of the bags that went in the Val Torta basin. So we're spraying this out. And we're gonna let this sit most of the day and kind of dry out. That'll make so much less mess. So in your aquariums, you can do the same thing. You take it, spray it out, and then that'll mineralize it, dry it out, make it a lot easier to work with, less cloudiness, and mineralize, like all the sun will kill all the organic matter and get it just to the minerals. And in a minute, we're gonna have the sun up over it. So over here with the sun, I don't know how good the glare is gonna be for you all, but the Val Torta, excuse me, leopard Val. Yeah, getting hit with the morning sun. Kapow. That's great. So I'd love to tell you everything I do is perfect the first time. It's not. I definitely wish that I would have taken the dirt and mashed it down a little bit. So I'm working on Sag Basin 2, SB2 as we're trying to call it. So I actually just rinsed this for the second time, and I think that is gonna help. I'm gonna let it sit overnight. I'm actually getting the rocks rinsed out a little bit better too. So tomorrow, when I go to do the Sag Basin, I won't have the problems that I had in the Val Basin, those being two of our top sellers. 1, 2, 3, 4. And doing the work on this one. And then last night, something got into the Sag Basin and climbed around. That's a new wrinkle. So this got a little bit messed up, but the Sag is growing bonkers already, new growth. So we were pumped about that. Had to do a little bit of patching because something got in it. But it's Sunday, it's Spigot of Species Sunday. You know I'm gonna talk about Val, right? Look, I'm making not 1, not 2, but 3, maybe 4 basins of Vallisneria species on this Species Sunday for a reason. Over 2 years ago, I was spending so much money buying Val domestically that I could have covered the cost on the mortgage, hence the catalyst for getting a whole greenhouse. So yes, Val is a good selling species, but here's why Val is so the bomb, okay? Today we're gonna talk about giant Val, leopard Val, and regular old Italian Val. We also have a Val Nana. Look, Val is fantastic. It's native to many parts of the United States. Giant Val can be found down in Florida. You can actually see this photo here of Mr. Robert Steinbach showing giant Val in its full glory right here. It gets huge. I've also collected it in the wild up at Presque Isle up in Lake Erie, so check it out. Val is one of those plants that trains you because you get Val in and it immediately melts back. It's doing this to me right here. Like you can see the little translucent like ends of this or whatever. This is what Val does, but it's such a fast and hardy grower that it grows back, and that teaches you the lesson that you need to learn for almost all kinds of plants, that they're gonna have a little bit of an adjustment period. Val teaches you that. Once you get through that, you look at the center of the plant, not the tip that looks bad, but the center of the plant, it's gonna grow back stronger. Val is obviously a background plant. We like to keep Val in above pH, but we don't really test pH, but lower pHs, it's gonna take a while to come back. Likes a little bit more calcium in the water. A little bit of water flow will keep algae off of it. Once you get rolling in a dirted tank or a good substrate, once it gets going, it's one of those plants where you're like, man, I got so much of this Val, I don't know what to do with it. Drop me a comment, folks, on Val, your favorite Val. Everybody make it an awesome week, and tank on. Later.